Hey, Royal Sussex squad. You know we always keep it real around here. And today we've got a juicy update that once again proves Prince Harry was telling the truth in Spare. While the palace tried to make it sound like he was just being dramatic, now the people working right alongside Prince William are backing up Harry's claims. So grab your tea, settle in, and let's break down how the so-called future king's demanding ways are finally coming to light, because the truth has a funny way of shining through, no matter how hard they try to hide it. So here we are again, squad, seeing the cracks in the so-called fairy tale kingdom. Prince Harry wrote in Spare about how his brother William could be demanding, controlling, and not the easiest person to work with. And how did the palace and the media respond? They laughed it off. They tried to discredit him. They said he was just playing the victim. But now the very staff who work for Prince William are backing up those same claims. On GB News, Dawn Neeson didn't hold back. She said straight out that William has been branded pretty demanding by the Duchy of Cornwall staff. And let's be honest, it's not some random rumour. These are people who work under him. They've seen it firsthand. So when Harry talked about his older brother's controlling behaviour, it wasn't some petty family squabble. It was real. And now the whole world's seeing that for themselves. We've always said it, squad. The media loves to twist and turn every little word Harry and Meghan say, but when it's William, suddenly it's seen as a sign of strength. Oh, he's not demanding, he's just a great leader, they say. But come on, if that's leadership, why is it only Harry and Meghan who get called out for having ambition and high standards? The fact is, William's approach is the same thing Harry was talking about. But instead of getting criticised for it, he's getting praised. Rural Director Matthew Morris said staff don't even have to wear ties when William's around. So we're supposed to believe that a no-tie dress code somehow erases everything else? That it makes him a modern, kind boss? Meanwhile, Ben Murphy is calling William's style a healthy impatience. And Will Bax, the estate secretary, says he's pretty ambitious and pretty demanding. But in a good way, of course, and that's the part that's so insulting. Because we know if it was Harry being called demanding, the British press would spin it as if he was some kind of dictator. They'd find a way to make it sound like he was a tyrant. Meghan couldn't even speak up for herself without being called difficult. And yet here's William, the future king, being praised for exactly the same behaviour. The double standard is blinding. Let's not forget how the Duchy of Cornwall has been in the spotlight for profiting off public services. The 2024 Dispatches documentary exposed the way the Duchy charged a Devon council £300,000 just to rent a school building for 21 years. And other schools were paying hundreds of thousands in leases too. That's not exactly the benevolent, socially conscious image they like to project, is it? William talks about positive impact for people, places and planet. But meanwhile, these schools are coughing up money for land that should be about education, not profit. And of course, the same press that loves to nitpick Harry and Meghan's every move just gives William a free pass. They're too busy writing puff pieces about how he's turning the duchy into a force for social change, as if that's enough to excuse everything else. Harry and Meghan, though, they've been showing what positive impact looks like for years, whether it's through Archewell, mental health initiatives, or helping communities around the world. They don't just put out mission statements, they put in the work. It's crazy how the system tries to silence Harry and Meghan's truth because it's inconvenient. Harry had the courage to say in Spare that his brother was difficult. He had the courage to admit that William's behaviour was part of why he and Meghan had to step back. And that's the heart of it, squad. They didn't leave the royal family because they didn't want to serve. They left because the environment was toxic. Because it wasn't about service, it was about control, about protecting the monarchy's image at all costs. And what we're seeing now, with these staffers openly calling William demanding, is a tiny window into what Harry was talking about. It's a sign that maybe, just maybe, Harry and Meghan weren't the problem. Maybe it was the system around them that was rotten. But still, you won't see those big royal reporters saying it out loud, will you? They'll find a way to keep spinning the narrative to protect William. They'll find a way to make sure the future king comes out smelling like roses. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan get dragged for daring to speak up, for daring to demand better for themselves and their children. And isn't it funny how quickly the establishment will rally to protect the heir no matter what? They'll bend over backward to justify everything he does, demanding, ambitious, controlling. It's all fine as long as you're the future king. But for Harry and Meghan, honesty is treated like betrayal. That's why Harry and Meghan had to leave, Squad. Because the monarchy was never going to change. It was never going to give them the respect and the equality they deserved. So when you see these stories about William's so-called modern management, remember this. Harry and Meghan were modern from the start. They didn't need a fancy mission statement or a Channel 4 documentary to prove it. They've been living that mission since the day they stepped back. And the best part is they're doing it on their own terms, without needing to be propped up by palace PR. At the end of the day, this just proves once again that Harry's truth in spare was never about tearing anyone down. It was about showing the world what was really happening behind those gilded palace doors. He didn't do it out of spite. He did it because he believed the truth matters. And as more and more of that truth comes out, like these staffers speaking up, Harry and Meghan's strength and integrity shine even brighter. It's a reminder to all of us that speaking your truth is always worth it, even when the system tries to silence you. And that's why we ride for Harry and Meghan, no matter how many headlines try to spin it. Because they had the courage to stand up, they had the courage to walk away, and that's something the world needs a whole lot more of right now. Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, hit like a shockwave. It wasn't just a book, it was a candid account from inside the royal family. Harry exposed the complexities of his relationship with Prince William, revealing a side of the future king the public rarely saw. The book detailed arguments, rivalry, and the pressures of being both heir and spare. Many were unsettled by Harry's raw honesty, struggling to reconcile it with the palace's polished image. Critics questioned Harry's motives, but for those who listened, Spare offered context to the struggles he and Meghan faced. It challenged the fairy tale narrative of royal life. Now, as of May 2025, new information is surfacing, corroborating Harry's portrayal of William. These revelations suggest Harry's account wasn't just personal grievance, but part of a broader pattern. Others are now echoing similar experiences. The truth, as Harry said, has a way of surfacing. The initial tremors from Spare are leading to a deeper understanding of royal dynamics. The public is beginning to see the cracks behind the crown. Harry's words, once dismissed, are gaining new weight. The carefully managed royal image is being challenged. The echoes from Spare are louder than ever. The story is no longer just Harry's. It's becoming a shared narrative. The royal family's private struggles are now public conversation, and the world is listening. When Spare was released, Buckingham Palace responded with silence, no direct rebuttal, just brief, careful statements. The mantra, "Never complain, never explain," was in full effect. Behind the scenes, palace sources painted Harry as troubled and bitter, a tactic to undermine his credibility. The British tabloids amplified this, casting Harry as the disgruntled brother and William as the stoic heir. Headlines focused on family rifts, not the substance of Harry's claims. The media's narrative was one-sided, protecting the monarchy's image at all costs. Harry's vulnerability was twisted into weakness, his call for accountability framed as an attack. William remained shielded from scrutiny. The questions Harry raised were ignored. The focus stayed on the impropriety of speaking out, not the issues themselves. This double standard was clear to many observers. The system worked to protect the direct line of succession. Challenging the status quo came with consequences. The firm and its media allies closed ranks. The message, the monarchy's image, is paramount, and Harry's truth was inconvenient. Recently, new voices have emerged, not family but staff from the Duchy of Cornwall, now under William's control. They describe William as demanding, ambitious and hands-on. He expects high standards and wants things done his way. Some say he's impatient when progress stalls. These accounts echo Harry's depiction of William's intense, forceful personality. Importantly, these observations come from professionals, not family drama. Their insights lend credibility to Harry's claims. William's leadership style is now under a different kind of scrutiny. Being demanding isn't inherently negative, but context matters, especially with royal power. When ambition isn't balanced with empathy, it can create tension. The public image of William as calm and collected is being challenged. The pattern Harry described is now visible to others. The narrative is shifting from rivalry to reality. William's true leadership style is coming into focus. The carefully managed image is harder to maintain. The truth is harder to hide. See, ambition in the royal family is a double-edged sword. When William is ambitious, the media calls him a modernizer and praises his leadership. His drive is seen as proof he's ready to be king. Assertiveness is spun as commitment. But when Harry and Meghan showed ambition, seeking independence and new roles, they were labelled as self-serving. Their efforts were met with suspicion and criticism. What's visionary for William is disruptive for Harry and Meghan. This isn't accidental, it's how the system protects the heir. The media reinforces these double standards. William's projects get positive coverage. Harry and Meghan's are scrutinized. The public is shaped to see ambition as a virtue for some, a vice for others. The message, only the chosen few can be ambitious and only in approved ways. This selective framing keeps the hierarchy intact. It stifles those who challenge the script, and it reveals the true priorities of the royal institution. A recent controversy highlights William's leadership. Plans for the Duchy of Cornwall to rent out holiday cottages on school land. The proposal sparked concern among parents and locals worried about the impact on the school. The Duchy defended it as a way to generate income, but critics questioned who really benefited. This was a test of William's management and priorities. Imagine if Harry and Meghan had proposed something similar. The media backlash would have been fierce. Yet, coverage of William's plan was muted. The system offered him a buffer. This incident shows how William's decisions are starting to face public scrutiny. It also exposes the different standards applied to royal family members. The community's questions about transparency and accountability were valid. William's actions as a powerful landowner are now under the microscope. The controversy is a small window into the complexities he faces. It also highlights the ongoing double standard. The scrutiny is selective and the stakes are high. The royal system, known as the firm, has clear rules about who gets protected. William, as heir, benefits from a carefully curated image. His missteps are downplayed or excused. It's about preserving the monarchy's stability. In contrast, Harry and Meghan faced relentless scrutiny and little support. Their attempts to modernize or speak out were framed as problematic. Leaks and negative briefings created a hostile environment. The system shielded William but exposed Harry and Meghan. This isn't new. Those further from the throne have always faced more scrutiny. But the attacks on Harry and Meghan were unprecedented. Their every move was criticised, their motives questioned. The protection for William highlighted the hierarchy. The system wasn't designed to support all equally, only the direct line. Harry's frustrations in Spare are now validated by recent events. The double standard is clearer than ever. Harry and Meghan's decision to step back wasn't abandonment, it was self-preservation. The relentless scrutiny and lack of support took a toll on their well-being. They sought a life of authenticity and mental health. Their proposal to serve in a new capacity was rejected. The system was too rigid. So they chose to forge their own path, prioritizing truth and respect. Attacks on their character didn't stop, but they continued building their lives and Archwell. They focused on projects aligned with their values, mental health, social justice and more. Their journey is about standing up for oneself, even against powerful opposition. True service can't come at the expense of integrity. Recent confirmations of William's demanding style quietly validate Harry's perspective. The world is recognizing the courage in their stand. Their story is about honesty, resilience, and finding strength in your own voice, and it encourages others to do the same.